everybody. We're waiting for everybody to get in here, folks. We're waiting. We know the alert's going out. I know Daddy sent the alert out. So just stick around for a few seconds as we get it going. There's only 27 people here. The more you guys hit the like button, the more likely the algorithm will pick this up, because I swear to God, we are like super banned right now. So please click that like button and let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's get that like button rolling. The Rock.
I run, but it stays right by my side. So tear me open, pour me out. This thing's insane, the screaming show, and the pain still hates me. So hold me until it sleeps. Just like the curse, just like the string. You'll feed it once, and now it stays. Now it stays. So tear me open, but beware. This thing's insane without a care, and the dirt still stains me. So wash me until I'm clean. It grips you so. Your greed, I don't want it. So tear me open, make you gone. No more can you hurt anyone, and the fear still shakes me. So hold me until it sleeps. It grips you so.
Yes, sir. I think that's enough. I think I wanted to kill some time as the algorithm told everybody that we're live here. And, I think it has. A couple of stories that I wanted to rattle off here while we're live here for the next 20 minutes or so or whatever we're live. But very interesting. We'll see. Very quiet out there in the wrestling world. We were talking in the chat about suppressing people and stuff like that. I just think it's dead right now. Wrestling is very dead. It's not even just me, right? Like, first of all, I'll tell you guys, this is one of the worst times to go live. Anywhere between like 2:30 to like 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time is a real bad time to be live. That's always been a fact. There's no doubt about it. Like, if I was live right now at like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock a.m., we would have instantly probably 60, 70, 80 to 100 people here. But at this time right now, people are focusing in on the last couple hours of work. They're not at break, stuff like that. The West Coast is just coming off a break. The East Coast have already taken their break. Nobody's driving home from work yet. They're really late into work right now. So this is a really bad time to go live. There's no doubt about it. But I was very busy this morning, so I couldn't do it. but I wanted to come on here anyway and just do a couple of things and get it out of the way and get to talk about the stories, interact with everybody, whatever else. And, of course, we'll be live tonight again. So we'll see you tonight live again after AEW. But I just wanted to make sure I did this stream anyway to get this part of it, out of the way and get it rolling. But yeah, the numbers are down everywhere. I took a look around the IWC, the YWC, and I looked at numbers, and they are very, very down. Okay, like compared to last year too, especially, the numbers are so down, it's unbelievable. Like I don't want to name names and stuff like that, but let me just put it to you this way: there was one streamer that last year was averaging. By the way, I looked at my numbers, I looked at other people's numbers, I looked at everybody's numbers, and there were times last year where this happened when things were so dead and like the numbers came down quite a bit. And I mentioned it, and I can tell because it's not just me. If it was just me, I'd be like, okay, something's wrong with me. Now, I do think that you know what I mean, that like, you know what I mean, it's I'm a little bit, on the lower end as well. But like I've gained more subscribers in 2025 than all of 2024, right? So I've gained more subscribers this year so far than the entire year last year. So, like, in some ways, it's up. But, like, I'm telling you, the wrestling interest is dead right now. There's one show that averages over 3,500 viewers every time they're live. They didn't crack even, they didn't crack that. They're like, I want to say their views are 15% down. And so aren't almost everybody's. The number was about 15% to 20% down, right? So this was crazy. I studied this because I have an interest in this, because it's not just the ratings that are down, it's also the people's interest, and you can measure it by the YWC people too. Like, it's not just measuring it by the ratings on TV and by the ticket sales and things like that. You can measure it on so many different planes, right? Like, for instance, and like I said, I project my own projection, and we're going to get to the JBL Vince McMahon stuff, but before that, my projection is that everybody is down 15 to 20% right now. So normally people get 3,500 views at least. Usually they're around that most of the show, right? What's 15% of that? 525 right there. So normally they get 3,500, and they're missing about 600 people. 2,900 is now the average, right? So what are my numbers recently? A lot of times we do about 150 nowadays, right? We used to do a lot more than that, but I mean, nowadays, if I'm live after a wrestling event, we sort of get 150 to 200 people. Well, what's 20% of that, of 150? Well, there you go. It's about 120, right? So what do I usually get on these random day streams or afternoon streams or wrestling news streams where I do stuff like this? Probably around 100, maybe 90 to 100 people on a spontaneous stream in the middle of the day or randomly, about 100 people. Well, do 20%. You know what that is? It's about 80. So 75. So right now we have 52 viewers, and at some point we may max out. Potentially, we may drop off, but we may max out around 75. I project potentially there'll be more viewers tuning into this, and we'll get to about 70, 75. But normally it would be more. And that's how much the interest is down in the wrestling product and in interest overall. So, it's not just it's other people too. Like if I looked at everybody. I mean, I'm talking about everybody, man. Like there's a guy who gets about 300 viewers when he streams a lot of times, right? I looked at him the other day, and he had about 248 people watching him. And what's 20% of 300? It's 60. 240 right there. Bam, 240. Like, you could guess it. I could name anybody almost. And I would see that if you looked at their past reviews leading up to WrestleMania and then even last year, it's like, unless they grew, it's like these numbers are almost solid around the whole area. So what that tells me is, what I think this tells all of you, and what I think this tells me, is that there's 20% less viewers than there have been watching wrestling right now compared to last year at this time. And that's crazy, because that's a lot of people. And if you project that, WWE between Raw and SmackDown, there's about 5 million people watching off and on at those times. And you take 20% away from 5 million, I mean, that's over 1 million people almost. So you're talking about now a potential of 4 million people watching, and that makes sense with all the numbers. All of those numbers add up and make sense when you do the math. Across the board, across the board, it makes sense. Like, all of those numbers match up for the most part. Give or take. Yes.
Did you lock the door? Did you lock her out?
Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I did. I'll come up and unlock it. I think I locked my kid out real quick. Hang on 1 second. Yo, Grid, what's up, man? Sorry, I locked my daughter out of the house. My bad. All right, I'm back. Okay, where were we talking about? Oh, so anyway, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, which is, I might do a dead horse though if you're desperate enough. But no, we're going to get to everything. I'm sorry, I'm flubbering all over the place. But yeah, I don't want to. You get it, right? The viewership across the board, the viewership is down 15% at least. Give or take 10, 15, 20%, somewhere in there. We're missing those people. There's no doubt about it. And a lot of them, I think, are kind of diehards, to be honest. And I think that's the problem. I think that's the issue. The point I'm trying to make is that a lot of the people that are not watching the product right now are kind of diehards. And that's the scary thing, because the big YouTubers, the big wrestling YouTubers are down, right? In a lot of ways. Now, I do think that some YouTubers that are doing wrestling that are doing well are like the new guys. And there's so many new wrestling YouTube people, I don't even know about them. I've run into some of them before and been like, who's this guy? How does he have 500,000 viewers? He started 2 years ago. Who the fuck is this? And they're destroying because they're getting over with the younger crowd. And these are kids that are from 9 years old to like 18 years old. And they're just sort of discovering the wrestling channels. And they're finding these new guys, and they don't even know people like me and other people that have been around here for years. And we're like the old guys at this point that like they wouldn't even find or care about. And so, and those people are very positive about the product too. So the kids in those age brackets are also kind of positive about the product. It's similar to Star Trek, how Star Trek fans, most of them are like older and like grumpy now, but like there's small audience of like 500,000 to 1 million people who are like the new Star Trek people, and they like only the new movies and the new show, and they don't know that much about the other stuff. They just like this, but they don't understand why it's not really good. They like this, so it doesn't matter. And so they like all those stupid channels that are like, it's great, what a great Star Trek this is, so good. And you're just like, what the fuck? But it's like they've created their own subversion of the fans. So anyway, the bottom line is, so those guys are probably flourishing or doing like pretty decent because there's a need for that, right? Like, because I'm like doing a lot of critical stuff and bashing, and I'm older and we've seen everything. And so the younger people don't relate to this as much. They're like, what? And I'm already established with my audience and stuff. A lot of these other guys have a fresh take, and they're like, hey man, that was really cool when this happened. And like, how about when that happened? And wow. And they're not like, that's kind of like 20 years ago when this happened, or it wasn't as good as that. They're not doing that. They're just in the moment, and they're living in the moment, mostly positively with the current product. And so therefore 9-year-olds to like 18-year-olds relate to that more because they're kind of living in the moment too. Like the things that aren't that good or really bad aren't really bad to them. They're just not the greatest things. And the things that are pretty good are like really good to them because they kind of have fresh eyes about it and they haven't learned about all the old stuff and they don't know about all the old stuff. So they're not, what's the word? Jaded by everything. And they're not desensitized to everything. So anyway, my point is those people are do a good job because of that. So anyway, that's my point, and that's why we're at where we're at. But not a big deal. I understand that, and we'll see what comes forward in the future.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30
Oh, boy.
years. Never
Here he is.
in all that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday,
Oh, my God.
that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
Oh, boy.
Joey, oh Joey. Are you enjoying your chair? Does it make you joyful? I'm buying a new chair this weekend and hope I can enjoy it blissfully. Do you ever sit on it nude? Does it make your bum sweat? Sometimes I sit nude in my office.
Yes. I would say that I'm in boxers maybe, and it gets a little sticky. Yeah, it does get a little sticky, Leonard. Leonard Kitty Kisser. Leonard, thank you for the $3. And yeah, it does get a little sticky sometimes. And I'm not just talking about the man juice. I'm talking about it legitimately gets sticky. When your sweaty body touches the chair. There's no doubt about it. Leonard Kitty Kisser, love you, brother. Thank you for donating. He is the first donation of the stream, the only donation of the stream, and I appreciate you, and I love you. Let's get married. I'm serious. So JBL Buries Vince McMahon's payout formula. And if you have not been listening to JBL on Something to Wrestle With, or Something to Wrestle podcast, I don't know what you're doing. It's so good. JBL mentioned he earned nearly 10 times his downside guarantee, trusting that Vince McMahon would reward a strong performance. He said, my contract, when I had my best run, JBL says. This is talking about his best run, right? I probably made, I think, 9 to 10 times what my downside was because I never cared about the downside because I just believed that you should eat what you kill. I always thought that if I do well, Vince is going to pay me. He was a great pay guy. I wasn't worried about it. When asked if Vince McMahon used a consistent formula for payouts, JBL called it 100% bullshit. Yes, of course he did. He had a full methodology, and it was 100% bullshit. 29%, I remember the number went to the building, employees, and talent. That number may have been legit. I'm not saying that number's not legit, but how that number got dispersed was absolutely bullshit. Vince McMahon's formula was bad, but his payouts were still great, says JBL. So he didn't shit on what he got paid, but he did say that none of it made sense anyway, and Vince basically just could make it up. And that's what it sounds like. It was Vince. Vince would go through, and I've talked to guys who've done payroll, including Jerry Briscoe, and Vince would come through and go, nope, change it to that. Change this to this. He would base it on what he thought guys were drawing, what he thought they were worth, the ticket sales he thought they sold, and where they were on the card. It was all feel. That was 100% feel. To my knowledge, not many would bitch about paydays. Vince was a great pay guy, the best I ever saw. So it's weird because, JBL is calling him the best and a great guy at paying out wrestlers, but basically saying that it was bullshit. It was all horseshit and that Vince would just on feel pay people, which I guess could work to your advantage and to your disadvantage, potentially depending on who you are. It sounds like JBL had a great experience with Vince McMahon's bullshit payout, but I'm sure there's got to be some people out there that did not have a good experience with Vince McMahon's payout. And I'm sure it sounds like, JBL is one of those guys, that came out on the good end of the stick or whatever. So basically, this kind of confirms what sort of we've kind of always thought, which was that Vince The payouts never seem to make too much sense, but, you know, I think that I don't know very well, but it always seemed like to me, based on what I hear wrestlers talk about in WWE in the past, then we're talking about way back in the day. We're talking about, you know, back in the 1998 to 2010s, you know, in that era of time. I mean, certainly you go back to the 80s or whatever, but I'm just specifically speaking about the late 90s to 2010 or so. That, you know, Vince McMahon would, you know, basically be like, you know, 75% of the time it seemed guys were pretty happy, you know, with their payouts. And that even if you spent a couple of weeks or months kind of getting dogged a little bit, it's like at some point you would do something and then Vince would be like, oh, here's, you know, you pay him, you know, you get the big shot tonight or whatever. You get the money shot out of nowhere. Get them likes up, says King Hueco Mundo. Yeah, we do have 60 people in here now, so if you guys could hit the like button, that'd be cool. We're at 40 likes almost, so we can get up to 50 or 60 likes, I think. It's break time for some people. I hope you hope everybody's having a good day. Let's see. The draft don't mean anything anyway, says King Hueco. Yeah, I absolutely don't like the draft. They got to get rid of the WWE draft. I mean, they don't got to get rid of it. They just don't stop doing it. You know, that's all. You say get rid of it. Yeah, someday you may want to do a draft again or whatever. You know, it's just a waste. Biggest waste of time. Put that in the title. It's the biggest waste of time. It wastes everybody's time. It's meaningless. It's actually kind of enraging. It's enraging. You know what? It's enraging like certain things. Like, you know what's funny is some neighbors of mine, they were complaining about people speeding through the neighborhood and stuff like that. And basically my comment is like, well, then do something about it. Call the police, you know? Because everyone complains constantly about speeding and stuff in this neighborhood. And I'm like, I can see the people who it is. You have door ring cameras, right? Like, they complain about trucks and things like that, and it's like, well, I have a truck, but it's not me. So why don't you just call the police then and call these people out if you really want to do that? Because they're like, well, maybe we should put speed bumps in. And it's like, that would piss me the fuck off, dude. If I have to drive over fucking speed bumps every day, I'm going to be fucking pissed off. So first of all, because some people are shitheads around here, you're going to put speed bumps in, and now I got to run over my car over fucking speed bumps? Bro, I will hold my horn down every day down my street, all the way home, all day, every day, if speed bumps get put in. Fuck you. If you want to go after people that did something stupid, go after them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of talk and not a lot of action. You know, if you're mad about people speeding, get their fucking license plates and start calling them out. Put their fucking pictures up everywhere and say, who is this fuck? Call the police on them. I don't care. Be a fucking Karen. But swear to God, if I have to drive over speed bumps, that's going to piss me off even more than if they were just speeding people. So, like, it's like that's the same way I feel about the draft, the WWE draft. You got problems on the show, you want to mix up some stuff, go ahead and do it. Move people around or just open the shows wide up. That's what you do. Just let everybody go wherever. How about this? You can have your own internal idea that Seth Rollins is a Raw guy and Roman is a SmackDown guy, but you don't really follow that, right? Like, if you want Roman on this, you know, to go anywhere, you can, because there's no draft anymore. Anybody can go anywhere. But subconsciously or in the background, in the back end of things, you have it written down that certain guys are supposed to be on certain shows, right? But whenever you have an idea to do something, oh yeah, whatever, just treat it like they can go anywhere. Stop treating it like there has to be a draft and you can't go here and you can go there. Fuck you. So I don't agree with that. Just let the people go anywhere and stop with the draft. It's a waste of time. It's an insult to everybody. And it makes you look stupid, too. It really does. It makes the WWE look stupid. I did watch the Panthers game the other day just to watch Marchand, you know. Even though, like, it's like I kind of hate the Panthers because of how they played us, but it's like the Panthers are what the Bruins used to be. And the Panthers are the type of team that I want the Bruins to be. And now the Panthers have Marchand. They really look like the Bruins. They look like a team that can win. And so I enjoy, I'm kind of rooting for Marchand the same way I rooted for Tom Brady when he went to Tampa. So I did watch the game the other day to watch Marchand and kind of cheer for him. So that's cool. I saw Alex Cora got ejected. I actually watched a little bit of a Red Sox game. I never watch baseball or anything because I don't have Nesson anymore. But I happened to catch it on a stream, and Alex Cora got ejected for the fucking home plate umpire is like a retard. He ran out to the pitcher, yelled at the pitcher, then didn't call a straight up strike. The fucking pitch was down the middle, and then walked towards the pitcher to warn him, but was walking towards him. It was retarded. Grid, everybody can see your messages, bro. Anyway. Brandon in the chat says, would be better for them to say anybody can show up at any time. And yeah, exactly. It would be better that way. Internally, they could have their own declaration of, hey, we're going to have a story between these guys, so it's mostly going to take place on Raw. You know what I mean? And internally, you have, people set where they're supposed to be and everything. But externally to the wrestling fans and to all the people, you're telling people hey, anything can happen. Anybody can go anywhere. And anything can happen. So it would make more sense for that to be the case, and it would be, more fun and more exciting if that were the case. And so you'd rather them allow people to go anywhere they want and do whatever the hell they want, and then allow us to, have this anything can happen type of atmosphere. Where do I take this pain of mine? There's The Rock crying. Now, are you guys serious? People in the chat earlier were telling me Mick Foley and Triple H are making fun of The Rock for crying. Is that true? Or were people joking about that? Or was that a real statement? That's really happening? And if it is, I'd like to see. I mean, Mick Foley making fun of somebody crying is, that is you talk about the pot calling the kettle dingleberry. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. The WNBA is considering banning fans from booing to create a safer environment. Is that a joke? Is that a joke? The WNBA, that has to be a joke or something, right? That's a satire website or something like that. Probably a satire website. But the WNBA is a mess right now. I don't know if you guys have watched this stuff, but Jesus, bro. Everything is about race with them, with this weird stuff. I don't know. It's such a weird place. They have a white star. They basically have a Michael Jordan and Caitlin Clark, and she has to apologize for being good. It's so weird. In the NBA, LeBron James is God, but in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark is I'm sorry for oh my God. It's so weird, bro. It's the fakest fucking shit. I mean, I kind of want it to go on so I can continue being entertained by it, but then there's the part of me that wants it to collapse even more, in a way, because they deserve it. So, I don't know. Oh, boy. Ba 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 ba. In the WNBA, putting up 20 points and 10 assists in the same game isn't just rare, but it's also considered elite. I guess these are the people that did it. I don't know. I find the league is so bizarre. I think I really want to become a woman myself because I think I could join the WNBA. I think I could do it. You know, I shot 72% one season. One season of church league basketball, I shot 72%. And I'm convinced that if I could get a wig and I could get the sex change, I think I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think I could get that to happen. And then I could really start dominating, I think. I'm convinced. I think I could hit about, 5 to 10 threes per game in the WNBA. And I could definitely get, 5 to 10 field goals during the game. And I could definitely draw a lot of fouls. So, I think I think I could put up 15 to 30 points a game in the WNBA and then get a lot of assists. And, I think I could do really well. If I could transition and I could get in there and I could just be like one of the girls, And maybe if I dyed my skin black too, then they would definitely let me in because they'd be like, yeah, oh my God, yes. Now, I'm not even close to as good as Caitlin Clark. Not even close. I'm probably more like as good as I'm probably as good as like some of the worst or middle ground women, like whoever the average women are. I'm probably that good, And I think I could do it though. 70% that church league, My average though is 65%, which is not great. That wasn't great. But I think in the WNBA I could do it. I think it'd be good for the WNBA. Yep, I think it's possible. Like if I went to the courts, like the street courts, and I was playing against 20 different guys, and there was like one or two guys that were nasty as shit, and they were just raping everybody. And they were like the best two players on the entire court of 20 people. I would be like the third, fourth, or fifth person usually, right? So while you might say, well, Joe, you're not even one of the best players of 20 on a street hoops situation. You know what I mean? You're like the fifth best guy out there. Like that's not like, you know what I mean? Like why would you be able to join the WNBA? And I'm saying, well, because I have the balls to get rid of my balls where they don't. They probably have a family somewhere. They're like a sales guy on a yacht somewhere now or something. They're not playing hoops anymore. But I have the balls to get rid of my balls. My new name will be Jolene. That's a great point. I could be Jolene. Jolene. That's right. That's a great point. I could tear it up. Good Lord, I could do it. I really could tear it up, I think. I think this is a great point. God, it might be worth it. It might be so worth it. Oh, God. I've already sprained my ankles so much that my ankles kind of are weak, so I'd have to tape them up every time. I will say that. You know what I mean? I think I do have to be careful because my injuries are more like my tendons and stuff. I've noticed, like over the last 10 years, after 30, that's the biggest problem I've noticed is that the tendons and the pulling and those are the problems that seem to happen a lot. Like tendons, pulls, rips. Those are what I'd be concerned about. I'm less concerned about I've never broken bones, but I would have to make sure that I've got good insurance. Yeah, I would want to have good insurance. Yeah, I wouldn't want to blow it like Garguts. Oh, Rojas, I'll get back to you in a minute, man. I'm sorry. I just saw your voicemail. I want to thank Leonard Kitty Kisser for the dono, man. He's the sole donation of the stream. Let me just put him up here real quick because he deserves it. What did he say? Did I answer his question? Oh, am I enjoying the chair? Yeah, that's right. You know, I went over to someone's house the other day, and the guy had a crazy gaming setup, and I started talking to him about streaming, and I was like, yeah, you must be like a big streamer or whatever. And he's not really. He's just got like a small little gaming group of people and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. But he had a desk. He had a whole desk that, like, when you push the button, it goes up and down. And I always told you guys, I used to work at Clark's customer service, and we had the tables that went up and down. They were awesome. And it would be nice to stand up, you know, but I can't stand up in this desk. I'm in a cheap $20 piece of shit desk. And this guy had like his desk was $3,000, I think, or $4,000. It was like a $4,000 desk that you hit the button and it goes up and down. It glowing lights and all these crazy lights to program into the desk everywhere. He had 3 monitors all on swivel things, and then a huge monitor that went across the top. And then he had a fucking microphone like me, but his microphone stand was like $500. And, you know, he had a good mic and whatever, but, well, actually he didn't. I think the microphone, if I recall, I thought the microphone was like $100 mic, and I'm like, why do you have all this other stuff that's worth so much money, but the microphone's only $150? I'm like, that fucking weird. But anyway, that was weird. But everything else was unbelievable, and it was crazy. And then he had a chair that was like $800 gaming chair, and I sat in it, and I was like, oh my God. It was so comfortable, and I was like, oh my God, this is what it can be like. Oh my God. And I was like, how big is your channel? Like, and what's going on your shit? I was like, dude, I stream too, but I don't want to tell him like who I am and stuff, because, you know, you don't want to give that out. But like, I'm like, yeah, like I do a little bit of stuff too, but, you know, and he's like, well, you know, I'm up to like, you know, it's like, I'm up to 200 followers. It's like, oh my God, dude, what? It's like, this guy has like a fucking studio that's like $50,000. And he's never really made a lot of anything on YouTube or Twitter or Twitch and whatever else. And I'm thinking, like, Jesus Christ, I never put much back into my show because of all the stuff that I owe and my family and everything. I put a little bit into it, right, to get the cameras and to get a good microphones and you know, that sort of thing. But I never really put a lot into my comfort, you know, ever. I mean, this chair was a gift, and it's $120, and it was a gift, and it's already broken, actually. But, like, I was just like, Jesus. And I told him that. I said, well, you know, I've got a significant amount of people, I'd say, you know, and, you know, I've made a good amount, you know, and I'm like, I didn't put anything into mine, and man, you've got a really good setup, but I just was looking at it like, wow, like, this is crazy. What the fuck do you do for a living? And he's like, well, I'm a stay-at-home person. My wife works. I'm like, what? And I was like, wow. So your wife works and you just play video games at home. That's crazy. So I was kind of like, damn, that's the life. That's the life right there. And he's like, yeah, my wife handles all the bills and stuff. I'm like, oh. Why do you think they decided for Bray Wyatt not to die in the ring like Owen? What the fuck? They create an OnlyFans? I would create a lot of OnlyFans. Thought Leah was calling me. I think she said here. I thought she said Dan. My wife's a veteran. Really? Like she like in the wars? Let's see what's up upstairs. Are you calling me? I don't know what's going on upstairs. Some kind of fight is going on. I don't know what's going on with my daughter, but something's up. Peg Wars? Gonna make so much money on that. My daughter didn't really sleep last night, so I'm assuming she's having a meltdown like of crazy. Because she didn't sleep really last night well, and I got her up this morning on like 4 hours of sleep. And so she's upstairs right now going, ah, ah, and like boom, 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 banging on stuff. And I'm assuming it has to do with the fact that she's starving, hungry, because I bet she didn't eat lunch at school, and she didn't have breakfast, and she didn't really eat well last night, and then she went to sleep for only 4 hours. So I'm assuming she's starving, tired after school today, and that's why she's upstairs pounding stuff and screaming. I can hear it. So I'm trying to like ask her, like, you know, what's going on. I'm assuming she wants like food or something bougie or something, like get me like a freaking whatever. She's tired. Iraq and black. Oh, Iraq and back. Iraq. Her rack. How about her rack? Taco Bell, Taco Hell. Taco Bell, Taco Hell. My mother smells. It's me, another lie. I really got to start a new channel where I just bullshit my audience. I got to start a new channel. I mean, that guy is crushing it on fake lie news. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's funny because we're back to that. Like, for a while, the fake news bullshit stuff did not work, and nobody was watching it, and like, it's like, I remember, like, the people's channels like that were dead because people were like sick of that sort of stuff, but now it's like crushing. And it's like, I feel like I should just launch a brand new channel where I just bullshit, like, be like the most tabloidal person. Because, like, dude, I can't even think of the headlines that people like Schlong's View come up with. Like, it's crazy to me. It's so crazy that it's hard to believe that that's, like, really works. And I know it works because the guy's channel, for a while, he would make videos and they would get anywhere from 800 to, like, maybe 3,000 views. And they wouldn't do very well. But now it's like these videos do like 8,000 views and 5,000 views. And it's like, it's the biggest horse shit ever. Like, it's like, I got to change my channel. 20-minute videos. Look at this, 20-minute video. Huge WWE star dead at 22 due to suicide, wrestling news. And then it's like, it's not a huge WWE star. You know what I mean? Like, what? I really got to get better at this. at just bullshitting everybody. Jacob Fatu released by WWE. Shocking reason why. Well, first of all, he wasn't released, so how could there be a shocking reason why? But 5,000 views on that video, 3,000 on that one, more views than I'm getting. So it's like I really gotta go back to like, doing that sort of stuff. You know what I will give him credit for, though? I came up with that idea the other day to do AI Brody Lee and AI Bray Wyatt. And he actually made a video about that 12 days ago, way before mine. So I got to give credit to him for that. He came up with that apparently days way before me. I didn't even think about that. So there you go. But yeah, 10,000 views on Guess Who's Dead. CM Punk fired, 6,000 views. Caught on camera, The Rock, heated argument. It's like, that's not true either. You click on these things, none of this happens. It's all fake. Based on either a lie that he made. It's like, I gotta launch a new channel. Call it like wrestling drama something. Gotta start a new channel. And just bullshit. Huge WWE star found dead. Do you guys remember a huge WWE star found dead by suicide? Here's another one. Huge WWE star found dead after WrestleMania. 12,000 views. That's crazy. And that's a 20-minute video. So 12,000 divided by 1,000 is 12 times average of $5 probably because of the 20-minute video. So, I mean, that's a $60 video right there. So if you pump out 3 videos a day, average $40 a video, plus your past videos, 120 plus 36. Yeah, that's not bad. That's about, that's $60,000, $70,000 a year in ad revenue. That's not bad. That's pretty good right there. That's a job right there. $70,000 in ad revenue a year. That's pretty good. So $70,000 a year in ad revenue. So I just got to get to that. I just got to get to 5 or 12,000 views a video again. I just got to lie and say people are dead. Triple H is gay. Like, it'll be great. I got to work on this. Oh, maybe it was Sabu. I got to do that. I got to start doing that. I got to launch my second channel. You could have been a Diddy escort. That's a great point. I could do a Diddy escort. I could do that. That's crazy. I got to work on that. Ask me anything, guys. We got a couple minutes left, so, fire away. Ask anything you want. If you guys want to super chat it, go ahead. You want to super fuck it, I don't know, whatever. You want to use Streamlabs pinned to the top of the chat, that would help out even better if you want to do that. Or if you just want to spam it in the chat, I will respond to the chat. I'm not just reading the donations. There's only been one anyway, but I'm reading everything. So however you want to get me a message, I'll read it in the chat, super chat, donation up top, Streamlabs, become a patron, patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. We talked about the JBL stuff earlier. We talked about the Rock stuff. We kind of rambled about some other wrestling stuff a little bit. Batista said Hollywood is a cakewalk compared to grind in pro wrestling. I bet it is a cakewalk in Hollywood. All you got to do is blast a couple of babies with your juice, and you're good to go. So I did BJ's for subs. Very effective, says the MMA holes. That's pretty funny, bro. What up, MMA? No, I've been doing this on this channel since 2012, so I've seen a lot of different iterations of a lot of things that work and don't work and whatever else. But the bottom line is just deliver entertainment. If you can just deliver entertainment, you're going to be fine. Deliver the stuff that you want to hear yourself. Thank you, MMA holes. And if you had told me that, I might have been open to that, to be honest. I would have promoted you for a week and just slurp it once, you know what I mean? And then you could promote me now and I'd slurp you. So, because you got to be bigger than me by now by a lot. A lot of people are. I mean, look at Look at Botch Club. Botch Club had like 30,000 followers on Instagram for a while, for a long time. And now he's got 100,000 all within about a year and a half. I mean, a year and a half, he gained 70,000 followers. It's crazy. Just say maybe everyone's dead. Yeah, I'll just say everyone's dead. I'll say major WWE superstar died. I'll just write that in every title. And then every time I'll bring up Sabu's death, and then I'll talk about the actual news story that's the news pinned. So yeah, that's a great idea. I'm going to work on that. We're going to try it out. Look for that on my Evil Spectrum channel. Joe, what's your thought on TKO slowly destroying the WWE product? Look at The Undertaker. He backstabbed Mickey James to put his wife in the... yeah.
You raised a piece of shit.
I talked about that back
Joe.
then.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
I got something to say.
Hey there.
I put a poopy on my head and now I'm the king.
Oh.
Now I'm the poop king. Poop on my head makes me a poop head.
Oh, my
king
God.
Poop head. Poop on my head.
Oh, my God.
Poop on my head. Makes me a poop head.
Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Poop Head. Well, he is the top donator now, Poop Head. We got to put him up here. $4. $4 got him on top. Unbelievable. I put poopy on my head.
When I'm feeling down and out, I don't cry, I don't die.
This is a beautiful song.
Poopy on my head.
Poopy on my head.
Poopy on my head.
Who doesn't love this song? This is fire.
The poopy I do has only one place, and that's on my head. Poopy for me, no poopy
Brenna, come
for
here.
you.
Come over here.
Poopy on
You
my
got to see this, Brenna. So this guy that donates, his name is Poopy Head. His name is Poop Head, right? Put that down. Poop Head. All right, so we got Poopy Head. It's unbelievable, Brenna. Look at this. So Poopy Head, he donates, right? So I'm going to take my headphones off so you can hear this. Hold on. Take my headphones off so you can hear. And there's a beautiful song. You got to see this. And it goes along with what the guy has done, and it's very, very interesting. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, let me just... Okay.
Why did you donate $4?
I don't know. But check this out. So his name is Poopy Head. All right, I want to play the song real quickly for us. So he's got a song. Listen to this song. It's amazing. It's the most amazing song you've ever heard. There's a video that goes with it. Look.
I put the poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. I put the poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. That's why they call me Poopy. If I put peas on my head, I'd be a pea head. But I
Yeah, I
put
do.
poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. And for ghosts from the coast. When I'm feeling down,
I have a poop beard right there.
I don't cry, I don't
Look at this.
die. I just put poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. The poopy I do has only one place, and that's on my head. Poopy for me, no poopy for you. Poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. It's just right for me. Poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. I put the poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. Put the poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. The freaking poopy's on my head. They call me Poop Head. If I put peas on my head, I'd be a pea head. But I put poopy on my head. Poopy on my head. And for
mean, that's amazing.
Why are you putting poopy on your head?
Well, because the guy that donates' name is Poopy. It's Poophead.
Put your poopy on my head? Like what?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, why? No, why are you putting poopy on your head?
Well, I don't know, because that's his
Poopy,
name.
Is it?
It's him. It's his.
His poopy head?
That's his name, yeah.
What do you have a beard shaver?
I don't know. What do you want? What are you down here for, real quick? Well, I'm...
Pokemon.
Yeah. Joe, are any of your kids interested in streaming? I didn't say no. I said, give me a minute. I do care. I asked you what you wanted, but that's a little crazy. Give me a minute. I'm sure they are, but, you know. I want to thank Poophead, though, for the $4. That is the top donation of the stream. Poophead, thank you. That is definitely a coffee. Wheelchair music. Yeah, it's definitely wheelchair music. Yeah, so back to the TKO thing. TKO is kind of, regardless of what you think, you know, TKO has clearly taken quite a bit of the soul of WWE. I mean, with every 5 to 10 years that pass, more of the soul of WWE leaves its body, you know, because WWE, as we know it, really comes from, you know, there's a portion of WWE that comes from Vince McMahon Sr., right? Vince McMahon Sr. got the ball rolling, and then Vince McMahon, that we know, really created this new wrestling world in his ideas and image. And that's the WWE that we're all so familiar with and know and love and have watched it grow through that man's vision over those years. And, you know, starting with when the company became public, it became outside influenced in a way like no other. So WWE was influenced in a different way because there were shareholders and things like that. They became more corporate. And as they became more corporate over the next 10 years, we saw the company shift a little bit into something a little bit different, but still run by the guy that created it all. So it's still very much in his hands. So not too much of a difference, despite the ratings changes and things like that. And even recently, when Vince was still running the company, it still had that feel, but it was becoming more corporate. And now that Vince McMahon has stepped away, there's not as much of a power hold on the company by an individual who created it or really maintained it for the last 30, 40 years. And so, yeah, you're seeing WWE is more corporatized and even more than ever. And the soul of the company is leaving. I mean, you can't argue that the soul of the company feels, very corporatized. It doesn't feel like it has its own magic as much. And it's continuing to feel that way. Joe, I liked the sponsors everywhere at first, but now it's an eyesore. I agree. It's kind of like, at first it was like, oh, that's cool, but now the ring looks like a boxing ring and stuff, and it's weird. The company is so corporatized and business structured that that's what it's about, is making money. That's all it's about, is making money for all the shareholders and the corporation itself and things like that. So, it's probably just feels a lot like that because of those changes to a lot of people. But yeah, it's one of those things. When things were going great recently, when things were going well, you were like, this is cool that they're finally getting into this. I like this. But now when things are kind of going bad or boring, then it feels like a negative. So if things are going well, some of these changes are probably more likely, accepted or whatever. But when things aren't going well, they're less accepted. Wheatley vodka is the most soulless ad they got. Yeah, maybe. So many promoters hate Vince McMahon till this day for messing up the territories. Yeah. Yeah, Vince destroyed the territories for his own thing. Vince destroyed the company for his own, reason. Vince McMahon lost the company and lost his job for his own benefit. Vince McMahon's always about his business decision. The guy literally sold his own company out because he sold it. He won. Vince McMahon bought the company. He won. Vince McMahon ran the company. He won. Vince McMahon turned the company public. He won. Vince McMahon sold to TKO. He won. And even though he got kicked out of the company, it's like he still won somehow. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing. It's like you would think it's a fail, but it's not. The guy just wins like crazy. Kurtman feels like America is effed up. Yeah, it sure is. I feel like everything is messed up right now. I don't even know what to do. Oh, I know that everybody's having trouble right now for sure. The rich are getting richer and the people are getting poorer. You know what I mean? I got like a $2,500 electric bill. I got like a $2,300 gas bill. I got a $2,500 water bill. And I haven't paid any of it. Vince McMahon is a Freemason? Yeah, maybe. I wish I was Vince McMahon. I wouldn't have to worry about paying anything ever again. It'd be amazing. Once WWE bought out WCW, it slowly went downhill. Yeah, but it's gone up and down since then. There's been these ups at times where there's no reason for it to, continue having an issue. And I think AEW was a big help. AEW really helped the WWE with, getting a little kickstart again. And so the competition does help, and you're right. But now it's been kind of squandered a little bit. Or we're coming back down to level again. Like we went really far up, and now we came back down a little bit again because, dude, Cody Rhodes hasn't been on TV in weeks. Like so many, Roman Reigns has been gone forever. Cody Rhodes has been gone. Like all these major people are missing every week. And it's not, we're seeing these repetitive things play out every week on 3-hour and 2-hour shows. Yeah, Vince McMahon still owns a lot of WWE, by the way. Yeah, he does. Vince McMahon beat the feds. He won for now. Yeah, again. I give it 5 to 10 years before Triple H is no longer involved. Yeah, I would. Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, I would bet something like that. Like 10 years. Yeah, I bet you Triple H is gone 10 years. 5 years. I don't know. Maybe borderline. But yeah, I could see that. Because just because I think Triple H is going to walk away at some point, maybe, and then the company will offer him a position of some kind. They'll say, Triple H, we want to make you ambassador of the WWE, ambassador Triple H or something like that. So like every couple times a year or something, Triple H comes out for WrestleMania to say, welcome to WrestleMania, and Triple H talks to the fans and he's like the ambassador of WWE or something like that. I could totally see that for Triple H. At some point down the road, like whether that's 10 years from now, 15 years from now, or even 5 years, I think that's possible. I think it's also possible that Shawn Michaels could take over for a brief period of time if anything were to happen. Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg. I think that it is more likely at some point that The Rock and Ari Emanuel will insert somebody that sells them on being the person to creatively run the company, and then we'll probably go through a slew of failures for years where corporate inserts are in that position and things don't go well, because they think they know what they're doing. So I don't know. And I agree, Doom. There's a potential that Triple H could, he'll probably die before he's gone ever. Like, how old is Triple H right now? 50, 58, 50. How old's Triple H? Triple H age 55, yeah. So Triple H is 55. Triple H. The warning, the clock probably starts ticking on Triple H around 65 with the heart issue that he has. Probably 65, 75 in that time frame. With a guy with a heart issue like he has, Triple H could be looking at, having problems between 65 and 75 probably. So, you've got I believe you've got another 10 years of Triple H solidly health-wise on this earth doing pretty well. But between the age of 65 and 75, I think he's a risk for himself, at that point. I think he may want to retire around 65 so he can, kind of be a grandfather and stuff and just hang out. Maybe a couple of times a year he pops into WWE and says hi, but that would sort of be my plan if I was Triple H. Like, I want to do this for another 5-10 years, hardcore, and until we can pass it off to somebody else, and that's it. I want to go, spend hopefully 10 to 20 more years with my family and relax. I mean, honestly, if I was Triple H, I'd almost do that now. I would maybe want to give another 3 years or less of this, and I would want to move. I would want to move away because maybe that's me. Maybe that's why I'm in a basement. And maybe Triple H doesn't see the other side. I mean, I look at things like I'm struggling to live every week to week. If I had the luxury of Triple H's ability to just relax and never do anything again, man, if I was Triple H, I would just want to live in a big house and be with my family and be a grandfather. And I would want to maybe work for the WWE with Zoom calls on training people and be an operations manager or something where when you're learning to do things, Triple H is there to counsel you or talk to you on a Zoom call or maybe do a weekly progress report and chime in with the guys and say, hey guys, I saw the show, this is what I thought, what questions you guys have, blah, blah. And people could say hey, Triple H, what did you do when this happened? What do you think when this happened? And Triple H can just be an advisor to the WWE. He could be, like I said, an ambassador. And Triple H could say, well, you don't want the camera doing this because this happens, and he's training everybody. And the WWE has a performance center, but the WWE really needs to start a production center as well, because it's different than anything else. It's different than any kind of other TV or whatever. And I think the WWE would do itself a service by having a writing school, a directing school, and a production school sort of thing. And when they bring people in, these people go through a 3-month training on the whole production. And, Triple H could be a guy that works on that and trains people via Zoom calls. And, he could work 6 to 12 hours a week. Just chill out. That's what I would do. Joe, Triple H's life is wrestling. That's all he thinks about. Yeah, I know. And you're right. And people like that, it's you're probably going to die. You're probably going to die on a plane to going to wrestling shows or something like that because you won't give up. And Triple H will go until he's 75, breaking down, doing this. Just like, Vince McMahon would have done the same thing. Keeps you living, keeps you alive. So I understand that. Keeps you alive, gorilla. I get it. At least you got something to live for and you're killing it. I don't know. That's crazy. Triple H is Randy Robinson. What the fuck? Cole, how you doing, man? OG Cole Zeller. Jesus, what's up, Cole? OG. You didn't even have to tell me that, bro. I know your name forever. Forever, Cole. Aren't you still a patron, too? Joe, go get your CDL. We need more truckers. I've been told that a lot by a lot of people. I've been told we need a lot of truckers out there, but I don't know if I could do that lifestyle. You know what I mean? I don't want to be on the road. My family would never see me. I'd be on the road all day long and all night and everything. But at the same time, you know, I guess you might have to do what you got to do. Can I make $150,000 driving a truck? I don't think I'd be a good truck driver material, to be honest. But you never know. What's up, B?
And get Pokemon.
I want to die when I'm watching Raw, SmackDown, or a WWE PLE. Oh my God, that's crazy. Yeah, Cole. I thought you wanted a drink, hon. I was thinking about a drink for you, but you can do the Joe Cronin show on the road as a trucker. Yeah, that's true. So I'd be copying J-Man from KC. Remember the guy that used to donate tons of money? J-Man from KC? J-Man from KC used to drop thousands of dollars on this show. And he was a truck driver who drove everywhere. And yeah, he made some good money. Yeah, bro. Monetize this highway to hell. Monetize this on the highway. That could be crazy. Yeah, there's crazy people on the road. I would definitely have to buy a gun if I were to be a truck driver. I'd have to buy a hell of a gun. Bro, I would literally have to have like a fucking rifle if I was a truck driver. I usually take the summer off to be with my family, but it's good money. Yeah. You know, something that, I don't know, like medical supply delivery, those jobs are pretty good. Medical supplies, locally, like driving back and forth places. Man, I don't do well with driving anymore because for years I was a delivery driver and I used to love driving. Now I'm like furious. It's like, well, now I'm furious when I'm driving. If I do sales in a place where, like, you know, in sales and like say you were selling dishwashers and shit or cars or whatever, you have to be in a place for like 70 hours a week and you have to stay there in the fish bubble. And it's like, oh my God, bro, I can't be at work for 70 hours a week. Like, I'll go crazy. So it's like, I can't do that. I also can't drive. Driving is better, I will say that, but driving really bothers me now. And it's like, but I have to do something, so, you know. I need to what I really need is to stop breathing. That's what I need. Like, that's really what needs to happen. What I need is to be hit by a truck. That's what I need. I need to be walking one day and I need like a Tesla, one of those Tesla trucks that carries the cars to the dealerships. I need one of those big like semis carrying like 12 cars to just run me over and break my legs or one leg. Where like my left leg is never really the same again, but like I can walk still, but like my left leg's jacked up. And then I can sue Tesla, you know, and then Elon feels so bad that he like shows up in my house. He's like, I'm really sorry about it. And then like, but they just give me $10 million in a settlement. And Elon is like, listen, I want you to be a sponsor for Tesla. Like, and he's like, if you just, you know, we want to employ you as a Tesla person. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to do much, but, you know, I would be an ambassador for you guys. But I want $10 million. And Elon's like, of course. And so Elon gives me a Tesla. He gives me $10 million to not sue them and stuff. I got a little bit of a limp for the rest of my life. I got a little bit of a limp on the left side, but I can still jump and run around a little bit and whatever and play basketball. And but I got 10 million. Own my house and put a couple million away for the kiddos, and that's it. Why can that happen? How about that happens instead of driving a truck? Yikes! I didn't realize I wasn't subscribed. You weren't subscribed to the channel, Cole? That's crazy. Well, YouTube unsubs people and stuff like that. So, or you hit the button by accident. Cole Zeller is like OG. I never would have thought you wouldn't have been subscribed because you've been sub forever. Favorite Benoit match? Probably the one against his family. Joe wants the Zoe Stark package. Yes. I was in debt collection. What a soulless job that is. I left and never turned back. I'd actually like that. I'd like to be in debt collection. Because I feel like the debt collection people, they're like so robotic, they suck. They don't know how to do the job. Like they call and it's like, boop. And they're like, hello, is this Mr. Cronin? And then I'm like, yeah. Hello, Mr. Cronin. I am calling from our ratio services on a recorded line in regards to a debt. And it's like the worst it's the worst phone call you've ever gotten. Like they're the worst. Or like beep, and then no one's there, and you're like, hello? Hello? Boop. Hello, Mr. Cronin. Yes, this is me. What's going on? Yes, I am calling from Z. And you're just like, all right, bye. Click. See you later. Bro, I would crush debt collection. Hey, Dan? Yeah, this is Dan. This is Daniel Cronin, right? Oh yeah, it's me. Who's this? Oh well, hey, this is Mike. I'm calling from SSCI. We're like a debt collection company. You had a credit card, right? That you had some issues with a while back. Yeah. No, I know, and I'm basically here to help you square away some of that debt. Did you want to get those cards paid off? Did you want that card paid off? That debt paid off? Yeah, I'd like it paid off. I'd like it paid off. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm here to help you with that. Oh, really? How are you here to help me with that? Well, last time you made a payment was 3 years ago. And looks like you have $800 in the balance. I'm sure that's not something you could do today, right? Yeah, no, I couldn't do $800. Okay, well, what could you do? I mean, I'm not sure. I don't really want to do that right now. No, I totally understand, but I know this is something you probably want off your credit report, and you probably want to stop getting all the letters and all the BS and stuff like that. So I can start that process for you. If I could help you out with that, would you be interested in trying to wipe that debt off your, off your plate? Like, why don't they talk like that? Why the hell do they call like robots and say like, hi, this is Ian McAllister. I'm calling on a recorded line from JPR Associates. We are attempting to collect a debt from the... What the hell is that? Do you not work on commission? Can somebody in the chat tell me, do these people not work on commission? Because I guess if you're hourly, that makes sense. Do they not work on commission? Somebody tell me in the chat. Because they suck at collecting debts. They really stink. So what was it like for you when you were debt collecting? I'm curious. The other day I ordered a pizza and the service was through an Indian. I thought that was bizarre. Like, why didn't my call go through to the store? Oh, yeah. So the store may have hired a third party to take their orders and then process them for them. So that's probably what that is. Like, there's companies out there like I could start a company tomorrow and basically I could call like a lot of places and be like, hey, John's Pizza, like, are you guys trying to save money or whatever? Yeah, we are. I don't want to. Okay, would it help if we took all the orders for you and we could process all the orders for you and we could send them to you and you would just get the orders and you wouldn't have to deal with, taking them in-house. And for some of them, the reason why I'm telling you about this, John, is because what we find is a lot of owners of a pizza shop like you, they have one or two employees that too many, and that's costing them, and they're going to have to shut down if they don't lay off those one or two employees. Also, what we find is a lot of owners take calls themselves and they can't deal with in-house customers or cooking the food because one guy is running the whole show or two people are running the whole show and it's a pain in the butt. So what I can do is my company actually handles all those calls. They come in through me and I have a dedicated group of people who take those orders. When they call under your number, the menu pops up with times and everything that you set and we set for you, and we can do it all for you for basically $55 a month or $100 a month, $200 a month, and that saves you a ton of time and a ton of money, plus all the orders come through just as they always would, except you don't have to worry about it. And if there's any customer service issues, we handle those as well for you. Does that sound like something that would change your life? Probably going to say yes. Or tell me more. And then boom. You sell them on your ordering process, and a lot of those companies happen to come from India or Brazil or places like that, and they have a lot of people that sound like that. So, it's important, I think, if you're going to do those places to make sure that you mostly get an American one, because it's hard for customers when you call and it's a very thick accent, right? Nothing against people from outside the country and foreign people and stuff. Like, that's not a problem. And certainly, like, it doesn't mean you can't have a job or something like that. But it's just that, when everybody that calls you every time sounds like, "Oh, wouldn't you like the pepperoni with the bull?" It's like, what? So, yeah, it's hard to, I would not want to hire a company. They're probably doing it, like I said, for very cheap. Very cheap. Mart says, Joe, I was a debt collector at 18 before I went to the Marines. It made the Marine Corps easy. It was the real boot camp. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like your brain power for that is crazy. If you have the ability to cold call people to try to drill into them to get a debt out of them or to make them pay money that they owe, when they obviously are having struggles or issues, it's a great negotiation trainer too, to negotiate with people. I'm like, Chuck, anything is better than nothing, and you owe $5,000 and you have to start somewhere. I think your conscience and you will feel better about yourself if you get started at some point. So, could you do $200 today? No, I could not. What could you do today? Like, realistically, what could you actually do today to help yourself out? What could you do today? I don't know. I guess I could do $50. Hey, you know what? That's a start. And maybe in a couple of weeks you hit the lottery or something, and you know what I mean? But at least you got the ball rolling so that, we're going to try to help your credit out here and try to get it off your conscience. So, yeah, let's process that $50 right now. Is it going to be debit card or credit card? And you just try to, negotiate people and close them. But I don't know. They don't do that when they call me. They just are very robotic and stupid. And I just go, boop, and I just hang up on them because I'm like, not that I have any money to give them, but maybe if they grinded me and I was in I just gotten paid or something, and they were like, well, what about $30 to get the ball rolling? Or an auto pay of $30 a month or a week or whatever. Something. But they never even get to that point. They're stupid. And I'm like, why are these companies so bad? It's all or nothing. It's either pay me the $800 bill or nothing, or I don't know. Or they will take $150 or $200, but they never get to that point. I have to get them to that point. And I'm like, why do I have to get you to that point? Are you not making commission on this? And that's what I'm like, what? Click. I just hang up on them. I never give them money. When they claim legal is getting involved, legal ID and the guy in the cubicle next to him. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, legal is getting involved. Yeah, I just don't want you to have to deal with legal. You know what I mean? I don't care if that's how you do it. That's fine. You want to scare people and BS them and say legal is getting involved? You know what? Sure. Okay. You want to lie and play a scam game? I don't even care. I'm impressed. But that's what I'm saying to you, is they don't even do that with me. They're like, this is Peggy O'Mary. I'm collecting a debt for, oh, yeah, I don't remember that. I can't really do that right now. I just want to say that we are on a recorded line, and I'm calling in a reference to a debt that's, and I'm click, see ya. Why don't they hire humans? If you're a company that has a debt collector, anybody want to hire me as a debt collector? I will collect debts like you won't believe. All right, I will crush that. These people suck, okay? Because they're all robots. I used to collect. I didn't even know I was doing it. I used to collect for the auto parts company. I was the delivery driver. The delivery driver. And I was working inside the auto parts store. And we would get a call from JP's auto dealership. And the guy would be like, I want to order 6 brake pads and 6 rotors and a battery. And I would, I'd put it through. And then I would say, on the phone, I'd be like, well, why not just make it 10 at this point? If it was 8, I'd be like, make it 10, you save something extra. They didn't really save anything extra, but I would put a little extra, the discount 1% or something. And he'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. So I was upselling on the phone, and I didn't even know it. And I didn't even care. I was just doing it. So the office liked that about me. I didn't even know I was doing it. Then I was delivering the auto parts. But then my manager goes, oh, no, we're not going to JP. JP owes $10,000. He hasn't paid his bill. He owes $10,000. We're not delivering those pads and rotors to him. So you just upsold him to whatever you just did. You got him to say 10. Of course he said 10. He hasn't paid. He owes $10,000. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, wow, so we can't even take this order for him? He's like, no. And I'm like, wow. Should I call him back and tell him? He goes, we've been telling him, we send him mailings and whatever. And I'm like, oh. So anyway, I call JP on the phone. And I go, hey, JP. I go, dude. I was like, so they're not letting me send 10 rotors and 10 brake pads and all that other stuff because I guess there's like a bill that's outstanding or whatever. I was like, but I can send you the 2 pairs of rotors or whatever for whatever truck or car you're working on right now. I can bring those down. You just have to pay on site. I was like, can you pay on site? Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Whatever yeah. Okay. I can pay on site. Okay. Hey, he said he'll pay on site for these. Okay. Go deliver them. I go deliver them, right? I go down to the guy. I get out and I go, JP. I was like, dude, you owe like 10 grand. He's like, I know, a fucking thing. I got jacked up and whatever else. I'm like, hey, they like locked your account so I can only deliver based on like per order on site. I was like, they only do that apparently after about $5,000. I was like, dude, can you give me a $5,000 check right now? If you do that, that will unlock the account. And then you can, order some bulk again. And he was like, oh, God damn it, 5,000, son of a bitch. He's like, I'll give you 2,500. I could do that today. I'm like, well, okay, let's do that. And he writes me a check for $2,500. I come back to the dealership, to the auto parts store, and I go, here you go. And I'm like, he's like, what's that? I'm like, oh, I told JP about what he owes, and this is all he could do today. $2,500. Like, that's pretty good. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, is that good? Cool. He's like, yeah, the guy hasn't paid anything in like 3 months. You got $2,500. That's not bad. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, do you pay for those up front? I'm like, yeah. Well, tell him he's up front until he pays the other $2,500, then we'll be good. I collected the other $2,500 from him a couple of days later. I collected like $4 grand. The office called me and there was like, can you go around and do that to everybody who owes us money? Because tons of people owe us money. And I'm like, I looked at the list. They go, I'll print you out a list and you go around and do it. And if whatever you collect from everybody, I'll give you 3% of it. I'm like, what? I'm like, so if I collect $20,000 from everybody, you'll give me 3% of it? The guy goes, yeah. I'm like, what? So I grabbed the list and I was like, whoa, like this is great. So everybody I delivered to, I looked at their thing and saw if they owed money. And then I pitched it to them like, hey man, like you owe all this, like $10,000, you owe $5,000, you owe $3,000. I was like, can you hook me up with at least $500 today or something so I can take it back and you can keep ordering and I can keep giving you the big discount? And they're like, oh, yeah, I forgot, or let me see, maybe, I don't know. And then we negotiate for a little while. I'd be like, let me tell you something. You're going to order from this other place. They're going to charge you 5% more. I was like, why do that? But at least if you give me $500 or $1,000, I can keep you on the payroll. I can keep you on the list at this 5%. You know what I mean? Just throw me something. And they throw $1,000 or $2,000 or $500. And I did that. I went home with like $30,000 worth of stuff that we never would have gotten. And the office gave me 3%. And I was like, damn, I had a blast doing that. That was a fire. And you find out like, oh, I'm losing my business, or I'm losing my this, or, you know, this guy screwed me. I don't have any money. My wife took the money. This guy spent the money. And you do whatever and you get whatever you can. But yeah, so like, I don't know why these collectors can't collect money. All you have to do is speak to people like real people. But like, they don't do that. They just call it, this is blah, blah, you're calling on behalf of the text down for like you. And just like, oh, click, boop, I'm out. See you later. I'm out. It's called medical billing, says Valerie. Okay. How do I get into that? Joe, you should try medical billing. If they send you a kit and you learn online, you do it from home. I was going to do it, never did. You should check it out. Okay. I'll check out medical billing. But anyway, one thing I do know is this show is not making me too much money, so I have to go do some work somewhere. I have to go become a lady of the night, a lady of the corner, and work the corner. Right now, guys, I've got to go because when Poophead is your top donation, you're in trouble financially. So thank you to Poophead for the $4. Thank you to Leonard Kitty Kisser with the $3. He's probably going to be in jail for that name as soon. That sounds like some Diddy stuff. Thank you, everybody else in the chat who's been saying stuff. Louis Urdaneta has been a beast. Okay, appreciate you hitting the like button. Dreamers Lane says $250,000 debt in medical bills. Damn, Garguts. Yeah, Garguts is screwed. I'd be collecting from Garguts forever. The guy next to me just got out of the army. He consistently fighting with debt collectors, calling them deadbeats. Wow. I wouldn't want to call someone a deadbeat. That's not how you're going to get money from people. You are not going to get money from people calling them a deadbeat. When they claim legal is getting involved, that's funny. I'm going to use that someday. I'll be like, listen, the lawyers are looking at it. The legal team is looking at it, but that's not my department. I can't say what they're going to do or whatever. My job is to stop it before it gets to that point, right? Before it gets to legal, before you go to court and all that stuff. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. Probably 30 days from now is when they start that process. But I know nothing about that, so I don't want to get into that because I don't know about it. But what I do know is I can help you avoid that part of it. I know that, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to work for you in this legal debt, this debt that you have. I want to help you before it gets to that next step, and I'm sure you don't want it to get to that step as well. So anything you can do really stops that process because it shows that you're doing something, that you're working with us somehow. And I love helping people get to that point so that they don't have to deal with those problems. I have 3 kids. I have a home. I have a life as well. I absolutely want to be your advocate in that way. So, perhaps today we could do $50. It's like anything to get in the door and get the person moving. But all these companies don't do that. They call and they go, and you just click, come on, see you later. Thank you, Valerie. I'll check that out. Just blame PTSD. Tell legal to bill me. Dominic calls his dad a deadbeat all the time. Yeah, but that's Dominic, and he's right. Rey Mysterio, he is a deadbeat. You know what I'm saying? He's right. He's a deadbeat. I don't know if I could get that job without a bachelor's degree. You know what I mean? Medical billing. Without a bachelor's degree, you think so? I would think medical, like insurance or something. I want to sell. I want to sell insurance, but I don't know. But medical billing, isn't that? I don't know. I'll look it up. Callahan brake pads. Joe, I bet you were a beast in sales. That was convincing. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm pretty good at sales, no matter what sales I go into. I mean, I think so. I was good at that job when I did it back then. I didn't know I had no idea. I had no idea I was doing sales. I used to sell stuff over the phone, and I used to sell really well over the phone. I worked at multiple places where I was like the call-in and the upsell person or whatever. I still have all my records to this day with the stats, and like I got number one a lot on a lot of things. It was crazy. But they lowered commissions. For a while people were making over $100,000, and then they lowered commissions, and then when you dominated, you only made $60,000. And once I started making 60, it was like, oh, this, what the hell? That sucks. That sucks. You can sell ketchup popsicles to old ladies with white gloves, you mean? Yeah, you can sell ketchup popsicle to a lady with white gloves, and you can sell snow to an Eskimo, but I'd rather sell a fireplace to an Eskimo. You know what I mean? I'd rather sell things that people could use. You know, ice to an Eskimo, that's, you know, you're ripping people off. I want to sell an Eskimo a fireplace. That's when you're crushing it. Sell the right things. Selling ice to an Eskimo is being a snake oil salesman. You sell a fireplace to an Eskimo, you're helping them solve a problem. My son works at Sherman-Williams, and he's a sales rep, and he sells paint. Oh. That's cool. I pretty much love sales, but I like customer service. I like sales. I wanted to be a lawyer for a while. I don't have the degree for that. If I was ever a lawyer, I would want my wife to get. I wish that my wife had gotten her legal degree. I wish that Leah got a bachelor's or master's or something, and then got her lawyer's stuff. And then I wish I was a lawyer, because then I would work with my wife on cases, and I think we would do really well, because I would be the one to speak in court, and my wife is the one to really, she is good at finding all the loopholes and finding all the evidence, solidifying stuff. I'm good with coming up with the theory and how we're going to build the whole thing and the narrative and what I'm going to do, but my wife would be really good at making sure that that's true and factual. And she would be good at ripping holes in other people's arguments and why things don't work. And I think together we would actually be like a really dominating legal team. And it would be really cool if me and my wife opened up a law office. It would be so good. But obviously I'm not good at school, and my wife, is not going to go to school now. So, but it would be really cool to have done that, and I could have, because she's the brains, and I'm the charisma, and it would have been really cool. Like them idiots with Pokemon cards. I don't have the patience to be a debt collector. Yeah, if you're collecting debts or doing some kind of a sales like that, or some kind of a collection or cold call, you have to enjoy the numbers and the stats. Like, you have to have a goal. Like, you have to be like, I love stats and goals. So, like, today I'm going to get, let's say that they expect you to collect, whatever it is, $20,000 a day or something. They want you to do that. And if you do $20,000 a day, you're going to be rich, or you get a percentage of the debt collection, right? So if you collect $100,000 worth of debt, you get 2% of it or something like that. That's $2,000. I don't know, $2,500 a week. That's $10,000. So I'm gonna try to collect, $200,000 worth of debt a week, right? And you're gonna try to crush it. $200,000 of debt a week, 2%, whatever that is, $4,000 a week. $4,000 a week times 4 is $16,000, plus the hourly. If there's hourly, maybe it's $2,000. $18,000 a month. That's $216,000 a year, plus YouTube making $250,000 a year. I'm good. If that's what it is, I would sign up in a heartbeat. But I don't know. Joe, what's the worst job you ever had? Mine was worked at CVS when I was younger. The worst job I ever had was working at Stop and Shop grocery store. Now, I worked at Roach Brothers grocery store, but I was 16 years old, and I enjoyed it for the most part. But in 2006 or 2007, I forget, one of those years, I had left a job, and my girlfriend had left me and stuff, and I just had to take a job anywhere, and I took it at Stop and Shop, and I was stocking the milk on the shelves. That was my job. Stocking the milk on shelves for $7 an hour or whatever it was. And I think I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to lie, and this is a good lesson for anybody out there who thinks about what they want to be when they grow up. I stocked the shelves with milk, and I think I cried. I think it was the it's sad to say, but it's true. I think it was the 7th or 8th day of work, and it was only my 7th or 8th day, maybe 6th, 7th day, something like that. And I was stocking the milk over and over again, stocking the milk, and I think the guy came by and was like, no, you do this, and he was showing me how you do this and that and all these fucking things that he had. You got to do it this way. And I just kind of like stared at the milk as I was stacking it and looking at the wall, and I think I had an anxiety attack, and I was just kind of crying, like putting the milk in like a bitch. I was just like, this is what I am. This is what I am, and I'm stacking the milk. And that was the worst. I don't know if that's the worst job I had, but I think it is. I think it was. Part of the job I liked was walking back and forth between the coolers and some of the other stuff, because I liked the interactions I had with people. You know what I mean? Like, I really love the interactions with the people. Like, hey, do you know where this is? I love helping people, and I love talking to people and joking with people. Like, but like, then I would get back there, and it would be like stacking the milk for hours, and then opening the boxes, and I'm just like, this is it. Like, I want to die. So, yeah, that was the worst. That was probably the worst thing that I ever did. And now I would say that I feel that way again whenever I'm working a job nowadays. I feel that no matter what the job is, I feel that way. So, like, it's hard to say what's the worst job you ever had, because back then it was stocking milk. But now it's anything. Just about any job that I work now, I feel horrified and disgusted. Joe, did you ever cry over spilled milk? I think I laughed about that, actually. I think when I was in the freezer stacking the milk, I think I laughed about that. Because I think the milk, if you ever worked in a grocery store and you worked in the dairy area, everything smells like sour milk, kind of, and you go home smelling like sour milk, and you just smell of sour milk. And I think there was milk that spilt, and it got all over my legs and my foot, and it smelled. And I remember thinking, like, I think I was laughing and crying, and I think I said, like, out loud, like, it's fucking spilled milk. And I, like, laughed like a moron. So there you go. So, yes, that's true. I think it was. I think I did. How old was I? I was 21 or 22 or something. Yeah, 20. I was about 22 years old, 21. I hadn't met Leah yet. But anyway, I got to get out of here. I'm out of here. And I'll see you guys later. And I appreciate it. We didn't really have a successful stream monetarily, but we did have a fun stream, so that's cool. Make sure you guys rewatch this and send this everywhere and share this to people, I guess. I don't know. Watch all my other videos, and I'll be live a little bit later.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over
Doomed,
30
huh?
years. Never in all that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday, that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
You gotta fight for your right to party.
That's right. That's right, Doomed, huh? Well, I will catch you guys a little bit later. I will be here a little bit later. So I'll see you tonight after AEW. Thank you very much, Doomed, huh, for that dono. That is that adds you to the list. Leonard Kitty Kisser with the $3. Poophead with the $4. Doomed, huh, with the 3. Thank you guys very much. Making it, better than it could be. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tonight.
You gotta fight! to fall.